lead singer named Justin Moore.
We don't do a whole lot of bullshitting up here. We just get up here and play country music. Hey guys, today's podcast is sponsored by Bobcat Company. Check them out at bobcat.com.
Check, 1, 2. Looks like everything's working on my end. Welcome back to the Justin Moore Podcast, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. This is Season 3, Episode 37 of said Justin Moore Podcast. I'm JR the Handler, and across from the Zoom machine for me today is none other than country music's own Justin Moore. What's going on, JM?
What's up, man? Good to be coming to you from the house, obviously.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope everybody is well, and as I just mentioned, we are at our respective homes, and we are off for the year, which is, it was great to go back to work this year after obviously what everybody knows we went through last year, being here all the time, and we were ready to get back out there, but we did, JR. We did, I guess, 9 months is about what we normally play, 9.5 months out of the year. We did that much worth of work probably in what, six,
5.5,
something
maybe,
like that this year. And so we were glad to be back out there, but we are wore slap out and need some break time.
No doubt about it.
Got home, I guess it was Sunday. We're recording this on Tuesday as we always do. And you just made mention that you've been sleeping for basically 2 days. That's what I've done. You feel bad. I feel bad. I get home. The kids are all excited. I expend, is the only energy I have left on them for as long as I can. And then, man, I seriously haven't been off the couch in 2 days. And Kate was like, I said, sorry, I'm not doing this, or I'm not getting up and doing that. And she's like, this is what you always do when you get off the road. It's usually a day or so, especially. So she's like, I get it. So
well, that's good.
That was cool. So
yeah,
got a little more energy today and slowly build back up to maximum power here in a week or so, probably.
Well, you're going to have to. It's Turkey Day next week.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving's next Thursday. just a little over a week. And I know you guys have people coming in and out. That's a big, y'all are the hub of y'all's family now. And, you got to rest up because it's going to be, I'm sure that's going to kick off, and that rolls into Christmas. And, it's just year has just flown by in general. Like you said, the show's one thing, but just the year in general has just absolutely flown by.
Yeah, it really has. And, you're right. I think we usually are off a little sooner than now in the year. I think we played maybe a week or two later than we normally do. And I guess I didn't realize that we were this close to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Kate left yesterday and was trying to find a turkey. Well, she went to a couple of Walmarts. They didn't have literally but one size turkey. It was like 30 pounds. Which is ridiculous.
Right.
And so she's out searching today. But, we have a friend who's I believe she's a regional manager for Walmart. But nonetheless, she's like, yeah, we can't get them in. So there's
really,
it's basically impossible to find a turkey right now. And we're, 2 weeks away? A week away, I guess.
Wow.
A week and a half, something like that. But yeah, it's wild, man. I guess we should have ordered it months ago or something. I don't know how.
Yeah.
But like you said, we do it all.
Be a thing.
We do. Well, there's a shortage of everything right now.
I guess you just don't think about that.
You don't think about that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but so yeah, I don't know. We may have to. I don't know. Move to something else. We may have gumbo. We usually have gumbo for Christmas, but we may have to have it for Thanksgiving too. I don't know.
Maybe a turkey sandwich Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know how I'm going to work mine out yet. I know Sharice's family's coming here for Thanksgiving, so we will have gumbo, I'm sure, and smothered of several things and all kinds of good Cajun Thanksgiving treats. But I don't know. I'm sure Gran had a turkey in there last year when it went on sale.
Probably killed
got it in
it.
the deep freeze. Yeah, probably Granny style, and I'm sure she's prepared because I haven't heard yet, but I need to check in on that because I didn't know. You like I said, you don't think about each individual thing, but I know the supply chain and the labor shortage is definitely taking a toll on. I mean, just about everything. I mean, you go to the stores. I mean, it's just wild. But
well, you read these stories about all these boxes of goods. I mean, from one spectrum to the other. I mean, it runs the gamut on what these goods are. That's all over the place, just sitting on docks and not being delivered because of, I guess, labor shortages, and it's wild, man.
It really is.
You
realize how much crap we need on a day-to-day basis, or think we need on a day-to-day basis compared to like our grandparents. Think how little of amount of different things they needed to survive, and how many thousands of things we have to have, And
it really proves a point too to me. I was thinking about this the other day, how important everybody's job is. You kind of, you can fall into the trap where, you do the jobs that, let's say, you and I did before we did this. I mean, the thoughtless jobs that, maybe people don't appreciate. Whether it be stocking shelves or driving a truck from a dock to stock up these places, or what, you know what I mean? Like it kind of proves the point.
Yeah.
Like everybody's job's important. I mean, thank God for janitors and custodians. I mean, you know what I mean? It's
like you said, the dock manager
provides some perspective.
A small place even matters. Yeah, absolutely.
When you can't get nothing but a 30-pound turkey, you think about these things.
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah, it definitely puts in perspective.
Yeah, but anyway, we're looking forward to the holidays. It won't be as big as it normally is for us, just because my grandpa's kind of down and out right now with his health. But so we won't have some folks there, but yeah, it'll still be a pretty big deal for us. And Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday because you don't fool with all the gifts and all that. There's not so much going on. It's more just like hang. Football's on. I enjoy cooking. I usually fry a couple of turkeys. Excuse me. And so it's always been, you get to be around family, so it's always been my favorite.
Yeah, I'm kind of in a transitional period here over the last several years. It's I don't know I guess Sharice and I got married even when we were dating and stuff, but family, we don't have as big a family spreading out, doing this, doing that, and having to do different things. Like I back in the day, it was just guaranteed I was going to be at Grand's for 2 weeks for each Thanksgiving and Christmas, and everybody was going to be there the entire time. But things just changed. I'm kind of like in a transitional period, but embracing it and try to make the best. That's all you can do, man. You grow up, things change, evolution, so it's a little different than it used to be, but it's definitely. I love them both. I love this whole time, and that's why I love that you're such a family guy that we always get this time off. I appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, we're both kind of in a little bit of a transition. I mean, when you get married, obviously things change, and especially if you're like myself and you, where you marry someone from a whole other state. I mean, you got to split time, which we used to go. Before we had kids, we would go 1 year to one family and the next year to the next, and then swap holidays and that kind of stuff. And then, once we got married or once we had kids rather, we didn't want our kids waking up anywhere but, at their house on Christmas because Santa Claus and the whole deal. And so... and then this is the first year. Sorry, guys. Y'all just going to deal with this smoker's cough today. So I apologize.
That's a bus cough.
Yeah, it's a bus cough. But I haven't been anywhere but the house since I got here. So it's not the C word or anything like that.
Well, we'll talk about our travels since we last spoke to you guys on the podcast.
They're ridiculous.
We were off last week. Yeah, and the reason we were off is because of. Was probably why we're under the weather.
Yeah, but
anyway.
But yeah, so this will be the first year for the holidays with my grandma not around, and
Right.
she was the centerpiece, and really for both sides of our family. I mean, not only just my dad's side. For those who don't know, I lost my grandma back early this year, and I think it was March. But anyway, so that's going to be weird. It's going to be different, and so it's shrinking. Kind of like you were saying about y'all. It's you would think when you get married it adds, but then you lose people and it kind of shrinks, and then you got to almost develop your own traditions. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Which is sad.
That's
because you and I
Yeah.
are super close, or were super close to our grandparents, and they always took care of everything. You went and you
Yep.
all you did was eat and then lay around their house. Now it's like
BS.
Now it's on us to do it all. And so my cousins who and obviously Kate and myself, and we're trying to carry on the torch, but it's certainly different. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, that's it's like I say, that's the transition into what are we going to do. I mean, we don't know what we're going to do for Christmas this year, and we don't have kids, but my brother has the baby, and then my wife's sister has 2 boys, so we just got to make sure we see both of them.
Right.
So we're kind of, we got to kind of make arrangements with them, which is fine because I don't want to miss a minute with any of them. But like you said, it's just different, and I'm in the same boat ever since my granddad passed. Because my other grandfather passed when I was, senior in high school, so we had adjusted that with Anno and Dad, and they kind of did their own thing. We had a bigger family side on that side, but we always made arrangements to make sure we got together at some point. But my mom's side in Mississippi, Gran and Pedro, once Pedro passed, we don't have them. It's just my mom's one sister, and she doesn't have kids. So, it just changed the dynamic. And like you said, so I got married, so then we add some, but then Granddad's gone, so then that part shrinks and changes, and then it's just, and then my father-in-law, Sharice's dad, he splits time between his beach house in Mississippi and Louisiana from Homa, so we got to coordinate that too, and it's now Jamie, my brother's in Florida, grandparents in Mississippi, they got the other Mississippi with the father-in-law, and then my nephews are in Louisiana. I mean, it's just crazy, and you only got so many days. I mean, you got the 2 specific days, and you can't be everywhere on those 2, the 24th and 25th, so. Yeah,
I was going to bring that up. I mean, at least for us, the majority of us are here. I mean, even, my wife's sister, her husband, and my 3 nephews, and her parents moved here, so that made it much easier for us. I mean, obviously her grandparents, aunts, uncles, and stuff are still down in Louisiana, and we go down there whenever we can, but y'all are, every one of y'all's in a different place. I mean, every one of y'all.
Yeah, everyone.
Except Aunt Paula and Gran. They're the only 2 together. Because your mom's in a different place, brother's in a different place, nephew's in a different place, your other in-laws are in, I mean.
I know. So, and that's like, and then, so, my nephews and sister-in-law and brother-in-law and mother-in-law, they're going to come here for Thanksgiving, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But they're coming the day before and staying the weekend. Well, that's the time Jamie's going to be at Grand. So it's like.
So you can't go see him and your nephew because you got to go.
Well, I don't know how we're going to pull this off. I don't know if I go. And he's not going to get there till Wednesday either. Now, if he was coming early in the week, which his situation changes time to time right now with the baby and stuff. So if he was coming early in the week, I would just go early, stay for Thanksgiving Day, and come on home Thanksgiving Day here and spend the rest of the week with them. But if he's not going to get there to Wednesday night and I got to leave Thursday at lunch, I'm going to see the baby for a couple of hours. Right. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do.
I tell you what, we started.
Just got to make it work.
I tell you what we started doing, and I don't know if it's doable with y'all, but we just started doing both families together, at least for Thanksgiving. Because we're like, there's no sense eating a huge meal for lunch and then trying to go eat another huge meal for supper. It just ain't going to happen. So we do, I don't know, 3, 4 in the afternoon, 5 o'clock, something like that. We do it all together, which we're all pretty close. I mean, even opposite sides.
Yeah,
of
we
the family.
Totally could too. Yeah, and we've done some hybrid.
started doing, and so we just said, look, hey, we'll do it at our house, but this is the way we want to do it because we're not doing it twice. So
right,
and everybody just, that's what we did.
Right. And see, that goes back to like everybody being from different places. So if everybody comes here, we only got room for, we got a couple extra bedrooms, but then everybody's got to rent something.
Get a hotel or whatever. Yeah.
Right. So Angel and them are coming down with the nephews. They're staying at the wharf, which will be awesome because there's all kinds of cool stuff to do there.
Well, I will say, you are in the only destination place. So that is a good selling point. Y'all get to come to the beach for a couple days or what.
Yeah. Well, I just got to get a bigger house, I guess. I got to convert this back house into just a lodge for everyone.
Yeah, second,
But we totally could, and it's just coordinating. Like I said, that's the transition. It's just now planning and coordinating, and like I said, everybody's work schedules and stuff like that. So it's coming into its own.
Just put Grant and Paula and your mom in your place. Everybody else got enough money; they can rent a hotel room for a few nights. That'll be fine.
Right. Well, we always want Sugar to stay with us. I love my mother-in-law when she stays, and her and my mom would be fine. But then then it gets tight, so it's like. I don't know. I don't know. I'm hoping one of my neighbors decides to move out to the country and I'll just buy their house.
Yeah. Just have two homes right there next to each other.
Yeah. I'll rent it out to somebody for 9 months out of the year. Then these 3 months they got to go so my family can all stay there. And that's the thing too. When you get a big family, you got to have a big kitchen. I mean, you got a good size area because your kitchen flows over into your living room and your great room and stuff. And ours does too to an extent. But still, I mean, you'd have to set up extra tables and stuff, if you get enough.
Well,
but there's definitely stuff like that. Because one year we rented a big house over across from the Floribama, just a big, 4-story big mansion over there, and that made a lot more sense.
That'd be kind of fun. I mean, even for y'all to go stay in a night or two. I mean,
it was
kind of
cool.
neat.
So that's what it's probably going to end up being, something like that, or a couple of places in a place where we can get the the banquet hall or the this or that or a something.
Just rent out part of the Floribama and have your Thanksgiving there.
They would love it. I would love it. No, we always end up there at some point. That has to happen. We have been there before for Thanksgiving stuff. If they do a potluck, it's awesome.
I'm sure it's awesome.
Floribama does. It is.
Hello. Well, hey, let's tell everybody why I've got why I sound like I have emphysema.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Let's hey, I tell you what, let's take a break first, and then we'll come right back, and then we'll talk about our last couple of weeks on the road, our adventures, back and forth across this country, and then I've got some questions and comments and some stuff to talk about. So we'll get on that. So everybody hang in there. We're going to take a quick break for all of our advertisers and sponsors that make this thing roll here at the Justin Moore Podcast. Y'all remember to use the hashtag Justin Moore Podcast anytime you're talking about us or with us on social media. I'm JR the Handler. That's Justin Cole Moore. If it doesn't have the blue check mark, it's not JM. So y'all remember to do that. Please hit the like, rate, subscribe button on this. Tell your friends. Let's keep this thing going. We've got a few more episodes this year. Then we're going to crank this thing off again next year. So we need all the support we can get to keep it rocking. Y'all hang tight. We'll be right back on the Justin Moore Podcast.
I want to give a quick shout out to Bobcat Company, who really does make a job, any job that is, easier. They got everything from skid steers to compact tractors, utility vehicles, zero-turn mowers, and everything in between. Their products are designed to make your lives easier. I like that. Which means spending more time with your family and doing the other fun things you love. Y'all know how big of a deal that is to me. Make sure you visit bobcat.com to see what products might be a good fit for your property. Hey, what's up, guys? Justin Moore here. I want to remind everyone out there listening that my wife, Kate, has an awesome children's clothing boutique in downtown Benton, Arkansas at Central Arkansas. So if you're local, come see us at 119 West South Street in downtown historic Benton, Arkansas. Again, that's 119 West South Street in Benton, Arkansas. And if you're not local, we ship everywhere. So you can find us at shopthislittlepiggy.com and see all that we have to offer, all that my wife Kate has to offer, I should say. Facebook, you can find us at shopthislittlepiggyAR, and Instagram, you can find us at shopthislittlepiggyAR. But check us out. It's called This Little Piggy, and see what we got to offer. Shopthislittlepiggy.com.
Hi, y'all. This is Brandon Bing, singer-songwriter and whiskey maker. You're tuning into the Justin Moore Podcast. Visit EasyLiquor.com to grab your bottle of Bangtail whiskey and join the Blue Collar Swaller family today. Follow us on all socials at Bangtail Whiskey for more news and updates. Now pour Jigger and take this a second ride with us.
Hey, gang. As y'all have heard, the Just More podcast has recently teamed up with Wrangler. Wrangler has been an icon in authentic American style around the world for more than 70 years. With a rich legacy rooted in the American West, Wrangler commits to offering unmatched quality and timeless design. As y'all have heard me and Justin talk about on here, George Strait and Alan Jackson, they're Wranglers. We wear Wranglers too. Its collections are also for men and women, children, to look and feel great, inspiring those who wear them to be strong and ready for life every day. Wrangler is available in retail stores worldwide, including brand flagship stores in Denver and Dallas, department stores, mass market retailers, specialty shops, Western outfitters, and online. For more information, visit Wrangler.com. And you know you've heard it here, and you've seen it on stage, the Justin Moore podcast. Dang glad to be partnered up with Wrangler because we're big fans and have been for a long, long time. Can't go wrong with a nice pair of Wranglers, y'all. I wear the Wrangler Retro. Justin wears the black one some. It's my go-to. I get mine at Academy. So if you're around an Academy or just about anywhere, you can get you a pair of Wranglers, whether you want to look like George Strait, or you want to look like JM, or you want to look like me. You can get you some Wranglers, and you can do that. Whether you're in North California or South Alabama or Montana, Texas, Ohio, Wyoming, wherever, a pair of Wranglers will get the job done. Long live cowboys and plowboys. For more information, visit Wrangler.com. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Justin Moore podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in again this week. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving next week, but before we took a break, Justin and I were talking about leading up to this, the last few weeks on the road. It was a long one, I tell you that. That's why we didn't have an episode last week. We had done the shows. Let's see when we talked to you guys last. I guess want to say shout out to Lee Bryce, our brother Lee. Great episode last week. Thanks for him to coming on.
Yeah, we missed an episode last week. He was on the week before, I guess.
Yep, so that would have been the 4th. That would have been, that was when we were going out west. We were traveling out to do Arizona, which was awesome.
Yep.
Laughlin, Nevada, cool. San Luis Obispo, California, Slow. Shout out Slow. Had a great time out there. What a rowdy crowd.
Yeah,
all those shows, big rowdy crowds.
Talk about what we did that day, too.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do that. All those were great, but that's where we started our trip. We flew to Phoenix, and then we got on the bus and did Maricopa the first night, then drove up to Laughlin, which is South Nevada, and then out to San Luis Obispo, California, which is where we at. We did a show, which, like I said, it was awesome, rowdy crowd. But during that day, our fantastic sponsors, Bobcat, and no, we didn't plan that. We just happened to be wearing these hats because we like them. They look cool. Shout out Bobcat of Atlanta on here.
I didn't even realize that was of Atlanta. I didn't even pay attention to what that was. I just liked the whole deal.
Yeah, me too. I like the color. I did see when we were in Atlanta when we saw Dally. So we were in Slow, man. Yeah, and we had to do. I guess we can tell them what's happening with it because it's going to be out for long.
Yeah, I guess
Justin had to do a commercial for Bobcat.
Yeah, we did a commercial out there that was just. We did it on a ranch, and I think this family had a couple of ranches. This one in particular, I believe this one in particular was 1,000 acres, which to us is that's a good amount where we're from. That's a lot. And then they informed us that was their smaller ranch. They had one that was like. Was it 90 or 100,000 acre ranch?
Yeah, 90-something thousand.
And I'm just drooling. I'm going, God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But the people who shot it couldn't have been better and couldn't have been nicer and cooler and awesome. It was a good time and great people. They fed us good. Beautiful area. Really pretty area.
Yeah.
I made mention to them at the time. So, where we're from, and I'm kind of stealing some of this from JR also. I mean, all you think of when you think California is, bikinis and rollerblades and beaches and surfboards. And,
Los Angeles, basically, yeah.
Obviously, that's a common misconception, but in all reality, much of California is ranches and country and I mean, it really is. It's different than us, but it's really rural, a lot of it, and it's just another great example of that. And I had not spent a whole lot of time in that area. I did go pig hunting there years back, and pretty area. Enjoyed it, but yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
we took out one of the Bobcat side-by-sides, got some cool shots, drone shots, and this different stuff, and really enjoyed it. I mean, it's not like I want to shoot a commercial every day, but we had a good time. JR's also in it, so it was the two of us and just kind of chilling.
Yeah, it was beautiful, man. Anybody familiar with the SLO area? There's the Madonna Inn there is where we played.
Yeah, that's
Madonna
right.
Inn
that's right.
As a hotel there, ranch style. Been there forever. It's a real. I don't even know what the term of the facade is, but it's a real themed thing. It's all themed in and out. It's wood. It's beautiful. It's old. It's been there for a long time. That was started by the grandparents or great grandparents of Tristan and his family, who is the caretakes the land and the Madonna Inn and all that stuff's all on this ranch that's on the back side of the Madonna Inn. So yeah, we just left out of the back of the venue on the Bobcat. Up over a mountain and through a bunch of gates, and there was horses, and I mean we fed cows. We had to watch out for bulls, and I mean they had cool dogs. I mean it was the ranch style, and then we ended up back at the ranch house where we had a fantastic lunch, all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah. With the family there, and then shot the video on top of the mountain and in the pastures, and I mean it was just beautiful. And out, like Justin was saying, out there we don't have trees and it's more mountainous, so you could see just.
Probably into the next county.
Spots.
I mean,
yeah,
and
we didn't even get on top of the. I guess it's a hill to them. It seemed like a mountain to us. We were like halfway up, but I mean, it was cliffs. I mean, it was cool.
Yeah, I mean, where we're from, it's you can't see, but in spots, maybe a couple thousand yards, because we have so many trees.
Unless you get up on a bluff or something, yeah.
Yeah, so
that's up there where you're at. We don't even have those down here.
It's just a whole different deal, it's wide open. It's just it's different, but it's really cool to see, and that kind of stuff's what we missed about not being out on the road last year, getting to experience all that,
and yeah, they were all fun. Cool. Everybody involved in the shoot was awesome. I mean, sometimes, no offense to any of the other production companies out there, sometimes it's a little stiff and a little, it's not really our vibe. But this was just totally our vibe. These were like, really I told Cody, I said, this reminds me like a bunch of your boys and buddies from out west if they were all hanging. It was kind of like they're all into like X Games and, adventure sports, but they're cowboys too. And I mean, it was cool.
Well, to your point, really cool. I mean, to your point, I mean, about not being our people, and these were kind of our people. There's so many talented folks who are in production that we've worked with that are great people. They're just not. They don't really handle stuff like us.
Right?
They don't run the show kind of like we do. And honestly, that's why Cody started doing literally everything for me. I don't know, 5-6 years ago, shooting all my videos, all my photo shoots, everything, anything out there to do with photo, video, audio type stuff. He did it all because I was like, I'm comfortable with him. He knows what I want. Then we just started keeping it all in house. And at the time, not very many people did that. I think a lot of people maybe do that more now, but not a lot of people did that then. And the first video Cody shot for us was ones that didn't make it back home. He wrote the treatment, which means he wrote the storyline of the video. And he directed that video, and he was already working for us at the time. But, quite honestly, the record label, because he was kind of unknown at that point, they didn't want to let him do the video. They said, we like the treatment, but we want somebody else to shoot it. I said, no, I want him to shoot it. And that was kind of unheard of, which JR, especially at the time. So I guess my point in saying that is obviously everybody after that video, they were like, yeah, I guess he's pretty good at this. It'd be all right.
Yeah. Oh, he knows what he's doing.
And, people love that video. But yeah, these guys were a lot like him, to your point.
Right.
And so it was cool to see that and a pretty cool experience. So, and then after that, I don't even know where we went. I guess we went to the golf tournament.
We did. We went to the golf tournament, and that's what before we go to the golf tournament, I want to go back though. I had some notes here, and I didn't have them in order. It's just stuff I threw together. But I want to go back to Arizona.
Is this the one with the snipers?
Yes,
because that was badass too. Was that Nevada?
No, that was lawful.
Okay,
Nevada.
okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, well, yeah. Casino shows nowadays, boys, security super tight. I love it. Thanks to all our boys in blue and camo girls that make it happen, make us feel safe. But I was talking about. So we're in Arizona. It's an inside show. It's like it's a big ballroom. That's right. At the casino there, and I hear Jeff in front of house come over and say, "Hey, there's something about this girl. The cops are kicking this girl out or something." And it was right in front of house where Jeff and Derek and those guys are working. So I ease through the back hallway, and I'm just going to go check, make sure they're good, make sure it's not a fiasco out in front of house. And as I'm coming through, there's a bunch, and this is on tribal land, so they're all in full gear, and there's this one drunk girl, just loud as she could be in the middle of like 8 people, and she's just cursing everybody out. And I could tell the boyfriend's just like, he's fine, but he's just trying to be like, what am I supposed to do? I mean, I don't know. So right. I asked the head of security, I'm like, what's going on? He said, she's just being obnoxious. She's being loud, cursing people. She won't get down. She keeps standing up on her chair. We asked her to stand down. She curses everybody out. And I was like, well, is she just super hammered, or she just wants to dance? I mean, is there somewhere we could put her off to the side? I was trying to figure out a way. I mean, they have to throw them out, because I could tell the boyfriend was okay. We might just need to move them or something, because I want everybody to stay and have fun, unless you're just out of control.
Yeah,
so I always tell it security meeting, I say, unless they're just belligerent, just move them to the back and tell them to calm down.
And if the lady who he's talking about happens to be listening to this podcast, man, he was trying to save you here.
Yes, yes.
That may be where you're going with this.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way to let her and the boyfriend stay, because I'm like, well, can we just move? No more disruptions. Let's just enjoy the show. It's halfway through. I want them to have fun, I never want to be the fun police. I can promise you that. Anytime if I'm ever getting on to somebody about something, it's not because I want to. It's because we got to do things a certain way to make sure everybody has a good time. But so anyway, as I'm saying this, she's walking off, and the whole crowd of security is kind of following behind her. And I'm talking to the guy. And about that time, she turns around and starts cursing and is coming towards us. And I'm looking to my left and right thinking, oh, she's about to give somebody the business. And she walks right up to me and just curses me out. She's like, F you, big security guy, for throwing me out of here. I'll never come back here again. Who you think you are? Just right in my face, just cursed me out. I didn't have time to say anything. And she turns around and storms off. And the only thing I could think is, I look down. I've got a cowboy. Everybody else is in police gear. I've got cowboy outfit on, cowboy hat, and my shirt's a Floribama shirt, similar to the one I'm wearing now, except for it's black with yellow writing. So I guess to a drunk person, maybe that she thought it said security,
maybe,
but it said Floribama, and she just cursed me out. But I thought, I've never seen her. I just walked up to the situation, so I'm thinking she's gonna walk past me cursing someone. Nope, right at me. So to the lady who cursed me out, I'm sorry, but yes, I was actually trying to find you a way to stay and enjoy the show, but you cursed me out, and I was like, well, I ain't gonna defend her anymore after that.
Well, and there's only so much. I mean, that you can do, and our crew can do, because I mean, that's up to the discretion of the police or the security teams, or I mean, we don't really have any control over that. I mean, you can, like you were trying to do with her, I mean, you can try your best to I guess, calm the situation down and just be like, hey, just move her back, whatever. But that's out of our hands. And a great example of why is, did you see what happened? I've never heard of Travis Scott in my life, but apparently he's a big rapper, I guess. I don't know.
Yep.
And that's not a knock on him. Hell, I don't know half the people on the radio in my own genre. So I don't, you know what I mean? I'm just oblivious.
Right. I know all the kid songs on Disney though.
I know all the Disney songs and shows. I don't even know where my song is on the chart. So you know what I mean? Like I don't know anything.
But, he ain't lying, y'all.
No, I'm not lying at all.
I love it though.
And so
it keeps you a lot more sane, like you and Lee were talking, I promise you.
Yeah, so
all that shit'll drive you crazy.
So yeah, I don't know if you guys know the story. I don't know all the particulars. Unfortunately, some big festival that I guess was his own festival, and I think he's from Houston or the area. And I guess recently, again, I didn't get all the particulars, but long story short, there was basically a stampede at this festival, like 50,000 people, and I know like 10, 12 people have died from it.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to get into the minutia of all that, but that has to be left up to the people who do that professionally, not us. I mean, we don't. Right. I know how to get on stage and play music. JR can tour manage the shit out of it, but we don't know. We don't know that world. I mean, we can kind of handle ourselves a little bit, but.
Each promoter hires a security company or team or local or the venue or and usually it's a combination
of
it's a combination of local law enforcement or sheriff's department or highway patrol and a security company. I've worked for a few over the years. There's some really good ones. And same with the promoters. But yeah, like you said, that's a combined effort to coordinate all these where people need to be, what time, how do we let people in, how do we use these areas, how many people can be in a certain area, how much fencing do we need, how many racks, how many bathrooms, all that stuff is a big umbrella of putting on a big show. And that's what they're attuned to doing, and that's why you have to be professionals to do this. And I'm not saying they weren't. I don't know what that went down, but early in the day we have a security meeting. Prior to the show, I have an advance with the venue, and we go over some of these things to make sure everything's in place. Normally, if I know it's a certain promoter or a certain venue, I know what we're working with. I know it's fine. If it's, you see a lot of volunteer stuff. Well, if it's all off-duty sheriff's department volunteers, cool. High school baseball team, maybe we need to rethink that. During the day when I have my meeting, I go over with them what we expect from our area. That's not really how they're getting people in or how they're doing it. It's just how I want my area treated, what I need from them throughout the day, where I need people in our world, and any concerns and things. And then ask them what their protocols are. What do they normally do for this and that, and we adjust it. And because I know, like at ours, like with the standing up and coming to the front, or with the, I don't know, just little things. And then I know at some shows, they shut certain stuff down. Main thing I always say is that just no professional cameras, and I want, like I said, if someone's belligerent and is disrupting and not going to calm down, they got to go. We're not dealing with that. We're not letting one guy drunk ruin everybody's time, or somebody punches somebody, that kind of stuff. You got to go. But if it's just fighting over a spot, let's move them, give them, let's do that. So there's a little bit of that, because I know there's some that, I've been in security meetings for big companies before with big acts, and we'll say stuff like, we don't want anybody in the aisles, or we do want people in the aisles, or, this is a smoking crowd. A lot of people going to be smoking pot tonight. What's y'all's policy on that? That kind of stuff. I mean, there's stuff like that. And then now it's active shooter stuff. How do we plan beforehand for if something like that were to happen, or weather, evacuations, things like that.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, that's just me getting the oversight of what we can do. There are protocols in place to get everybody to and from and in and out of these venues and to see these shows and go that work. And just if it's not up to par, you have problems, and there's really no way to rewrite the rules on it, is another thing I'm saying too. There's a certain way you have to do it, and that's to keep everybody safe. Same with the weather thing. When storms come up and we have to evacuate a crowd and everybody's mad, they're like, it's not even that bad here. It's like, well, that was because there was lightning 5 miles away and inside a structure or something. We've got to get everybody safe until there's no lightning in the area.
Well, it's like
that's just for everybody's safety, because one person getting hurt is not worth everybody having fun. We cannot let anybody get hurt.
Yeah, I mean, the main goal is for everybody to certainly we want everybody to have a good time, but the main goal is for you guys and us to get home safely at the end of the day.
Yep.
That's the main deal.
Yep.
And so, I mean, it's just like I mean, you made a comment in the airport because I was cantankerous about some guy being a smart aleck to me. And bottom line, I don't like a lot of the rules at the airport and airplanes and that kind of stuff. But if you don't follow them, you don't get to fly. I mean, so that's pretty much the same way here.
Yeah.
We get in trouble if we don't follow the rules, even at our own shows and vice versa. I mean, so
yeah. Well, which leads us into our next one. Yeah. So after San Luis Obispo, we had to go up to San Martin and do the golf tournament with our brother Nate Deaton and all those guys up there at KRTY, and had a great time. We were just in a hurry because we had to go all the way to St. Augustine, Florida by Thursday, and we had to be there early because we had the VIP thing with Tracy before the show and all that. So we get on the road, and like we just said, flying is not that fun anymore, and it's not reliable with getting canceled flights and delays and no food at the airport. So we decided to just take the bus. So we take off for 2,860-something miles.
Which everybody thought we were nuts for, but
yeah, everyone asked, "Why didn't y'all just fly? Why didn't you just fly?" And I'm like,
well, that's people that
have four to six flights for no reason when you could just ride your bus. I'm like, we'll just leg it out on the bus.
Well, we weren't coming. If we had flown home, we would have been home for 12 hours just to fly again. So it would have been at least 4 flights, at least. And so, you know, all these people going, I can't believe y'all don't just fly. They apparently haven't flown in a while.
Yeah,
it ain't just as easy as it looks, and as it used to be. I mean, we've talked on here about, you know, labor shortages and stuff like that. That affects airports and everything. I mean,
right.
I mean,
and
when
even if
McDonald's is closing at 7 o'clock in Atlanta airport and you can't eat for 12 hours, I mean, you get. I mean, it's just not a whole lot of fun.
And even if we fly private, which is more expensive than it used to be, and it was expensive to start with, we still don't have our bus. All our stuff's on the bus. It's like, that's what another thing I kept telling people. If we beat the bus there, we're just going to be in a hotel with all our stuff thinking we should have just rode the bus.
Right. Yeah. You know? Well, and the other thing is, you know, we trust our drivers. And honestly, it was nice to get some rest. I mean, you know, it becomes a bit of a tin can, as you put it. You know, after a while.
Yeah, well, and it was like that. I go back to say that, to talk about the little under the weather. So we start out there on the California coast and slow. It's windy. We're up on these mountains. It's dry. We're already dry because we've been in Arizona and Nevada before.
Oh, we also had the time change during the. So we're not only were we in every time zone in, I don't know, a 2-3 day stretch.
4-day stretch. Yeah.
But the time changed on us also during that time.
Yes.
We went back to. The clocks went back. Yeah. So
yeah, the daylight savings time. So had all that going. So we leave out there where it's cold and dry, and we've been dry. I mean, it's just, we're both from the deep south where we like our humidity. Our bodies just work better with the humidity. I'm sure I would adapt once I lived out there, but as soon as we
How
get
much
out west,
chapstick you think we went through?
Every one, all of them. I bought a year's supply. We didn't use it until then, and I mean, every time it's just crazy.
Matter of fact,
tube after tube.
I had to get JR to bring me some on stage the other night. I go, man, I hate to bug you, but I know you got chapstick on you. I know this is gross, but I got to use your chapstick. I'm dying up here,
dude. I get it. I'm not bashful with my chapstick. That's why. Anyway, so yeah, it's so dry. So then we leave there. I mean, we're just exhausted after the golf tournament. Which
Chapstick
was
wants to come on board, by the way, as a sponsor. We sure could use it.
Or Burt's Beads Wax.
Yeah, any of it.
Any of those. Yeah, because we use it, buddy. I promise you. Which we'll get to some more sponsor stuff, sending us stuff here in a second also.
I forgot about this.
So we leave. So then we're coming back across the country to go to Florida. So we wake up, man, we're, I don't know, somewhere in Arizona, and we're like, I remember Eddie, our driver, love Eddie, and his son Kevin, who came out and helped drive us this past week. Awesome guys, Mississippi representing. We were, I think he said 8,000 feet in the air, so we were over a mile high. I know we were because he made a comment about that. That was funny. Can't tell it on here. But so we were a mile high after leaving the coast. So there's a whole nother geographical climate and terminology even. I don't know, high plains, Sierra or something. And then, then we stop and we get something to eat, gas, we ride forever, get up the next day. We're in Lubbock, Texas, which is another environment from where we just left. So it's just like you said, times changing up and down mountains and bone dry to we got back to St. Augustine, Florida. It's like you're at Disneyland or Disney World. It's just lush as it could be, just green, overflowing, everything wet, swampy.
Yeah, we hit the swamps in Louisiana and Mississippi, and then. But yeah, it was a long trip, but it was it was good and made it safely.
Had to be a little hoarse and dry.
In time, and all that, but yeah, just dry and different climates, different times, different. And so yeah, there's no wonder why we've been on. And then we went and played 3 shows.
Terrible food.
Yeah.
Terrible food.
So there's no surprise that we've been on the couch for 2 days, just chilling. So and we got almost 3 months off now, so we're looking forward to that for sure. So
so as we're coming back across the country, we shout out to one of our fabulous sponsors, Wrangler. Here we're coming back across the country, going to St. Augustine. Justin gets a text from Kate, and I'll let you take from here. We love them to death, but. I think they sent you one too many shirts this time, huh?
So we were talking about shooting a Bobcat commercial. So when you see that commercial, I'm wearing a denim Wrangler shirt, and I don't know how many times you guys have seen us play, but I mean, more than half the time I'm just wearing a denim Wrangler shirt on stage. It's just kind of a go-to. It's never went out of style. It's it's just kind of my go-to, denim on denim, the Canadian tuxedo. Wrangler had asked, did we need any clothes or anything? I guess this was a month or so ago, whatever. I said, you know what, just send me 10 or 12 of that specific denim shirt, whatever, the one I like or whatever. And you can get this shirt at like Academy. I mean, there's nothing special about it as far as they send it only to me. You can go get this shirt, is my point. Probably, I don't know, what, $30? Whatever it is. But anyway, last year,
it's a nice shirt.
Last year, your whole lifetime, like a pearl, Anyway, well, I said, send me 10 or 12 of them, and they had sent me, I don't know, like 2 boxes. So they sent, I guess there was 12 in each box. So I had 24, and I'm like, oh, that'll last me the rest of my life unless I need to swap sizes or something, And so like the next day, well, I get like 6 more boxes, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I open them up. I think it's going to be jeans or something else. It's the same shirt. Or no, 4 more maybe. 4 more boxes. So I had, whatever 12 times 6 is, I guess 72. So I had 72 of these shirts, if my math is correct. And so I'm like, well, enough. That's crazy. But I mean, I guess maybe they're thinking just go ahead and give me a lifetime supply and be done with it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So we get on the road. And Kate texts me. I wish I could find the text, but she texts me. She goes, you got to call Wrangler. This is out of control. And I'm like, what? And she goes, you just got 16 more boxes of a small denim Wrangler shirt, the same damn shirt. And I go, you got to be kidding me. She goes, no, I'm not effing kidding you. She's like, this is ridiculous.
It's filling the whole driveway.
So,
oh my God,
I'm gonna have to.
So now at this point you've got 22 boxes.
Calculator. Yeah. So 22
boxes.
So I've
2.5 by 2.5 football.
So I've got 22 boxes of the same shirts, which comes out to 264 of the exact same denim shirt. Oh.
So you've got enough to wear one, a brand new one, for every show for about 3-4 years.
Yeah, about 3 years I could wear it and give it away every year because we play about 75 shows a year.
Yeah. insane. So
yeah, but anyway,
we got an email chain going and realized there was a error in accounting, and they added a couple extra zeros somewhere along the line.
So, but no,
and if there's a shortage in all of Southern Arkansas or Eastern Tennessee or Northern Mississippi, they're all at Justin's house. They'll be getting them in. They'll be FedExing them back to Wrangler here soon.
Yeah. So Wrangler, I'm gonna tell you what, buddy, they really take care of you.
Hey, we love you. We love you, Wrangler, Bobcat Wrangler. We love you.
So golly, but
they just wanted you to be the largest private collector of denim Wrangler shirts in America. You've got a Guinness Book Award record for it.
I probably could get in the Guinness Book World of Records for that, but no, but the funniest part of it was just Kate's disgust. She's like, enough already.
Enough. Stop it. And then I think me and you were on one together. Maybe it was me and Joey. Then I don't guess they had coordinated. Maybe she got there after Kate had left or something. But Miss Amanda texts me and Joey's like, same thing, like, what the hell? She's like, there is a mountain of boxes of Wrangler shirts, and they're not for everybody in the band. They're just for Justin. It's all the same shirt. What is going on?
Yeah.
We're like, we're already on it.
Yeah, we had a good laugh about that.
Hey, speaking about good laughs, and we're going to keep this thing rolling because it's a beautiful day here in South Alabama, and I'm going to go try to get out and enjoy a little bit of it.
It's cloudy and a little it's cloudy today. It hadn't rained, but it's hot, like hot.
It's perfect. 70 and just perfect right now down here. But talking about having a good laugh, we had a good laugh at this, and this is our PSA, public service announcement for this week's episode of the podcast. A lot of times when you're at a meet and greet, or you're wanting to get pictures with people, or just taking pictures with your friends, I got a little PSA to drop on everybody because this actually happened.
You can't say who it is, but they'll know.
One of them shows out? Was that one of the shows out west?
They'll know if they listen.
Yeah, and if he thinks about it,
one of them will.
Everybody should remember this. Okay. So when you hand somebody your phone to take a picture for you, like somebody hands me their phone, I always tell them, have it up and ready, hand me your phone. I hold it up like this to take a picture. You got to make sure the settings are right real quick. But down in the bottom left corner, there's a square that was the last picture you took on your phone. So let's just say someone hands me their phone, and I glance through the settings and see the last picture, not really trying to, it's part of, you're just making sure everything's on and working before you take the picture. If the last picture you took was a nudie picture of your girlfriend or wife or boyfriend or husband, whoever you hand that phone to could glance down and see said naked picture of your partner or friend or whatever you took a picture of yourself or whatever you took a picture of last. It may be down there. So before you hand somebody your phone,
especially if it's like, let's say, an action shot from, let's just hypothetically say you're behind.
Yeah,
your significant other.
Yeah, and when you hand them
and
the
your
picture,
loved one may be bent over. This is hypothetical.
And then as I'm about to take the picture, I may realize that the person handing me the phone and the person who's in the picture are about to get another picture taken of them together. And now I've seen a little more than I wanted to of this couple. And you can't really say anything in front of them. So I wrote a little note down to remind everybody that when you give somebody your phone at a meet and greet, or when you take pictures of people out in public or something, how about before you go in public or anywhere, check your phone. Don't have any of that on there, or hide it, or do something, or tell you the best way never, because all these things, y'all know they can get on here and get everything they want off these things. The best way to do any of that is just don't take them into modern society. Get you a Polaroid maybe. Because, saw a little more of warranty of these people. And so I say that to say we had a good laugh after we got back on the bus and said, hey, got a new one for you. Just happened to glance down and booyah. Then I'm trying to take the picture, and I'm trying not to laugh, thinking I just did my head. I was like, woo, this is a new one. So anyway, I'll check that off the list of things to talk about. When you give someone your iPhone, the last picture you took on your phone will be down beside it in a little square, so whoever's taking the next picture could see that. So be careful who you give that to. You wouldn't want to, take a picture at a family reunion and your last picture be from the hotel or something. Just saying.
That's too funny.
And then, so hopefully their marriage won't fall apart, or anyone's. Maybe this will save a few marriages. Who knows? But talk about things falling apart, too, Justin. We got to say this. The rough travel coming across the country was not only rough on us, as we were exhausted and tired by the time we made it to St. Augustine, which was an awesome show. We played with Tracy.
Really
and, man,
awesome.
had a big old time partying with everybody after that show. Joey and Pete and everybody was there, and a bunch of our friends. And, but as we're getting there, we're riding, and we stop along the way somewhere, and you say, I hear you and Eddie talking, and you say, yeah, man, we were just riding. I heard this big old boom noise and crash, and I just thought we had run over something. But actually, your bus was falling apart from the inside out
around me
as you're going down the road.
Yeah, so this was like, I think it's like 8 o'clock one morning or something. I mean, it's early morning at some point. We're riding down the road, and I'm just laying in bed kind of reading something on my phone or whatever. And I think I had just woken up maybe 30 minutes prior or something. You know, kind of halfway asleep, kind of halfway reading, whatever. And we hit like a series of bumps, you know, like little bumps, and it's dark still because I hadn't even turned my lights on in my room, and I hear this like crash, like, and I'm like, whoa. Well, I turn the lights on and look. I don't know how, but part of the wall of my bus in my room had fallen off the wall. I mean, so it's probably, I don't know, 4 foot by 4 foot piece, something like that.
Yeah, 3 by 3, something like that. It's a big piece of wood that's attached to the wall that's holding a guitar hanger and some hat hangers and hooks
that
for
kind
stuff.
of stuff. It's like it's covered in like faux fur. You know, looks like, I don't know. It's decorative, but it's a big heavy piece of wood. You know, plywood. Yeah. With a guitar hook on it.
It's got fabric on it, but it's against the wall, which you would think would be properly secured with screws and nails and glue or something. But as it fell down, we realized it only has some staples in it. So shout out bus company, don't go slacking on the screws next time, because it about took the old boy out.
Yeah, I mean, it really could have knocked me out if it had just like fallen on my head or hit me right in the back of the head. Or I mean, it was crazy, and it's sharp edged. I mean, you know, it's corners and
3/8 thick plywood.
You know, luckily I didn't have a guitar hanging in there, and I usually do, but it would have busted the guitar all to pieces. And anyway, it was kind of funny.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it ripped your. That's what Eddie was saying. It ripped your electrical panel out where you control your lights in your bedroom and your closet and stuff.
Yeah, there's a light panel that, like, push button, you know, for shades and lights. Completely ripped that completely out of the internal wall. Anyway, it's just another thing. I mean, that, you know, on the road. I mean, like, always something. And we're always seeing new stuff, like the thumbnail picture on your phone. That's a new one. So as we find out more things for you to watch out for, we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so we got to St. Augustine, Florida, had a great show there. Big fun hanging out with Tracy and Opie and that whole bunch. Shout out to all those guys. Great band. Great
had a blast
crew.
with them this year. A lot of fun.
Yes. Big shout out. I hope we can do some more shows with them. Love doing shows with Tracy and his bunch. Then we went over to Biloxi, Mississippi. Always big fun in Biloxi. After the show, got to go hang out with the band and crew for a little while. Had a big time hanging out with them. Which I want to give a shout out to all them band and crew, everybody. Great year, great run. Roger, Dave, Tucker, Will, Stefan, Tanner, Jeff, Warhawk, Alyssa, Derek, Paul, Jess,
Tim,
Robbie, Brian, Eddie, Mark. I mean, just the whole
Kevin.
bunch, man. I mean, it takes a team, and when we pulled it together and had a great year and a great run, and you know, made all the shows work. A lot of different scenarios, but made it happen.
It was touch and go there for a while, and then we had moments where we thought, "Uh-oh, this ain't gonna be good." Mm-hmm. And man, everybody we just stayed the course and just kind of kept blinders on and we got through it. Like you said, I mean, we might have had a couple canceled or something, but it certainly was not any of our control. I mean, we didn't miss any shows. We didn't, everybody stayed healthy. We didn't have any. I think
everything worked. When we got the shows on time, we didn't have to, we'd have to stop early. We really got lucky on weather even too with that. And when we didn't, and when we did have weather, the crew stepped up and just made it happen. We covered stuff. The band guys helped get stuff up. We got it.
We were all somewhat apprehensive about, being out of it for, over a year. Are we going to be on point? From me and the guys on stage to the guys that are off stage, you don't see, as far as, like for instance, a lighting guy or a front of house sound guy, they're hitting different cues, and it's timing just like it's me playing guitar or our drummer playing drums. They have to hit stuff at certain times also. So that's a rhythm thing that, when you haven't done it for a year, I mean, and you're out of practice.
Yeah.
It's not just automatic to come back and do it. But all of our folks did. And so pretty neat because, we all were a little, we were excited to get back on the road, which I've said 100 times, but we were all like, all right, let's see how this goes. Yeah. I mean.
Yep. And even some of the crew, we had some crews. We had to swap around a few people earlier in the year and the band early this year. We had some movement.
And honestly, JR, some of that was due to people worrying about, I won't say who, but you know who I'm talking about, guy we loved in a position who was just not real, I guess, confident in his ability to go back and do it after a year. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I mean that was part of the reasoning behind him.
And a lot of people's just situations change. In our business as a whole, and most things, there's definitely a labor shortage. We talked about on here with drivers and crew people and stuff. Even like our one of our guys who we got to see this past week, but even him, it wasn't anything he directly did, but something happened inside his family and stuff to where he had to come off the road.
Right.
And just and then things change and people swap and positions change and new things open and opportunities. So everybody's kind of adjusted. But once we got ours settled we got it settled pretty early in the tour. Once we got it dialed in, this crew who we finished with, man, I mean, most of these people been with you longer than I have, but great bunch. Can't thank them enough. I heard I got drunk, gave them a nice speech the other night where they were all trying to sleep in their bunk. Don't really remember it. They said it was good. So on top of that, I love you guys. Awesome. It was great. Can't wait to do it again next year.
I think you left them shots beside their bunks.
I was the band. I don't know if I might have did the crew too. Shot Ferry. Anyway, but yeah, had a good run on that. Finished up in Lake Charles. Great show at the Nugget. Always have a good time there. Got to see our buddy Uncle Dale and his wife and some of their family. I hung out with them some after we left you. They're a hoot, buddy. We front row for the cover band once we went inside. I mean, they just reliving the glory days. I love it. It was fun. We laughed.
Good people.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it was a good run, and now we're off for a while, but we got a couple more episodes to come out over the next few weeks. We're going to take next week off for Thanksgiving, so we'll be back with you guys first week of December. Just want to say thanks to everybody who listens and contributes to the podcast in their own way by sending in questions and comments and telling their friends about it. There's not enough time to thank all you guys. We're going to figure out a way to do that at some point, but continue to leave us those reviews. We're still going to find somebody to jump on one of these episodes with us later in the year. I think maybe the last episode this year I was talking to Cody. Maybe we'll bring Cody on and we'll do we'll talk about everything over the years of the podcast going into the holidays, and maybe we'll have our guest on that episode. But we'll want to say shout out to everybody who's contributed, all the people I talk to on social media because of the podcast and that leave us these great questions. I'll go down some names that I just had on here because I'm going to get to a lot of these questions, but I need some time now that I'm off the road to decipher which ones are questions and which ones are comments and stuff. But always want to say Big shout out to my buddy Paul Rogers for always listening in. Here's just some people who've hit me up recently: Mason Saminsky, Brian Costello, Brittany Summerall, Jordan Atkins, Thomas Hill, Alicia Harvey, Mark White, Luke LeBrun, Dalen Reed, Kyle Cuzio, just so many to mention on here that, that always contribute and send stuff in and questions. And that's Austin Gober on here sent me something on my jrthehandler.com. And I'm going to get to all these. Jim Burke, Ryan Penrose, talk to him all the time, Joshua Curtis, Colvin Smith. I mean, just our old buddy Mark Cooper that we met at the Stockyards from out in California.
Yep.
They're just everybody who contributes and sends stuff in. Thank you. I know I can't get everybody's name out there this run, but I could try to do some more of that as appreciative shout-outs as the year goes on, because it's you guys who listen every week to make it go. I mean, it just really is.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man, that we've done this now as long as we have, and, did more episodes this year than last year, I would think. I think
we're going to do we will have done 40 this year, and we did 30-something last year.
40 in 52 weeks. I know we've had a week or two here or there where we haven't been on, but it's predominantly been just about every week. We will do, like you said, over 40 in 52 weeks, and that's about the rate that we would like to continue doing them next year. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been fun to hear from people when we go on the road. Hey, love the podcast. I know people come up to you all the time and tell you that, and that's really cool to hear, because we've talked about it a bunch on here, but we didn't really know. We didn't know what we were doing, and B, we didn't know if people would dig it or care for it or care anything about it. But to know that people are watching and listening and enjoying it, that's pretty cool, and certainly we'd like to continue it. And we should actually go back and compile a list. It'd be easy to do, of all the guests we've had, because I think when you write it out and look at it, you'd be like, wow. Because at times I know we become self-conscious that we're not getting enough guests for you guys. But then when you read down, I think this is our 71st episode, if I'm not mistaken. I think Lee might have been our 70th.
I think so, yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to be willing to bet that there's 35 or 40 guests in those 71 episodes, and we like rapping by ourselves some too, so hopefully you guys dig that as well.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it. I mean, just at we had Lee on last week, Parker McCullum, Chad Belding, then we had Ken Shamrock on before that. We've had Bo Duke on, we've had Wooderson. We've had NASCAR drivers, and the illustrious Marty Smith. Speaking of
NASCAR drivers, I don't know if we talked about the fact we got to hang out with Ryan Newman recently.
That was in Arizona. That was right. We didn't talk about that. Yes, Maricopa, shout out. Oh, no doubt.
So we're going to get him on as well. He was a great guy. We hung out with him after the show for a good, hour or something like that. And
great dude. And my buddy Brandon Lee, shout out Troy State, Brandon. Making that happen, making that connection. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, really good to hang with Ryan. He and I had met, I think we met in like Daytona or something years ago, but never had really developed much of a relationship. But we did that night, and I guess a week and a half ago or whatever it was, and he said, "Yeah, I'd love to come on the podcast or whatever." So it was cool to get to meet him again and get to know him a little bit better.
Yeah. So so everybody, make sure to keep spreading the word on this thing, and and if anybody, we're going to take a break here after a couple more weeks, and if anybody, since we are going to do a big full season, if anybody works for a company or knows somebody or is in advertised and wants to sponsor or come on as an advertiser here on the podcast, share some message, get you in touch with the right people. We just want to keep growing this thing and making it bigger and better, and that's what it all takes. And it's going to be, we think, like you said, that lineup we've already had is just impressive. To me. And next year, we don't even know where it's going to go. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? Who knows?
Hopefully, we'll get to more folks on the road. I think things should be a little more normal next year. This year, we were out there, we did all the shows, but things weren't exactly back to complete normalcy, obviously, but hopefully that'll just continue to improve as we get out there next year.
No doubt. Well, man, thanks everybody for tuning in. Hey, I got a couple more right here. Tabitha Davies, across the pond. Give a shout out to her. She's always hit me up on Twitter. Daniel Lombard. Our buddy Logan Webb, was talking with him earlier, the TikTok master himself.
Oh, goodness.
Hunter Williams, saw them at a show this past week. I mean, just so many cool people that I interact with on here that listen to the podcast. So thank you guys. Tell your friends. Spread the word. Hit that like, click, rate, notification button, the 5 stars. Leave a review, please. I'll be looking over those. We're going to pick somebody out to talk with on the last episode. And remember, anytime you're interacting with us on social media, use the hashtag Justin Moore Podcast with Justin Cole Moore with the blue check mark, JR the handler, working on that check mark. And send messages through Justin's Instagram or Twitter page. Cody will compile those and get them to me on my Instagram or Twitter page. You go to jrthehandler.com. And for all Justin's information, whether it be merchandise, tour dates for next year, new music, which we need to drop that real quick too. But go to justinmooremusic.com. You can get all the information on the podcast, how to find it, how to do this, how to do that. Anything you could possibly think of is on Justin's website. So go there and check everything out. And can we talk about that yet, Justin? I think it's official. You got a greatest hits vinyl hitting Walmart.
Oh
here
yeah. I forgot about that.
We got to talk about that before we get out of here.
Yeah, I actually totally forgot about that. Looking through my email real quick.
That's all. Hey, while you're doing that, I want to give a shout out to a buddy of mine, my buddy Tim Daughtry, Elmore County High School. He sent me some really cool stuff. He said he heard us. He said, I wanted to give you this when we came down for the concert. Didn't have enough time to get our stuff unpacked. They had moved from Alaska to Virginia. He said, I heard you guys talking on the podcast about people getting things over, picking up things as you travel. He said this is a Chief's mess coin from the Coast Guard.
Oh, wow.
And this also is a anchor that was worn by him for 3 years prior to advancing to E8. He said it's got some salt to it. So I'll give y'all some little look at that. I want to shout out to my buddy Mater. We call him Mater because he was growing up, he had red hair and he had a big Mater head. He's an angel. I love him. Shout out to our military people. That's very cool. Thank you, Materhead. Love you, buddy. We'll see you soon.
Why am I not finding this?
Something else cool I picked up along the way that I thought was pretty cool, and it's a new thing in our band this year. It's a Justin Moore pick, and it's red, but on this side it says Stefan LaPlante, our brother, our new Frenchy left-handed guitar player from up north in Canada. We love you, buddy. We're glad to have you on board. You've done a hell of a job this year.
Yeah, no doubt.
Nice. So nice. And Canadian, they never lie about it either. He could even be mad at me and argue with me about something, and then he said, okay, thank you. Canadian, so polite, so nice. We love you, buddy. Get home. Take care of Granny. Let me know how that goes. And then I just had this randomly. I found it in something. I was going to put it up on my wall later, but this is some kind of pass of some sort for a Brad Paisley Crushing It World Tour in 2015 we were on. That was sponsored by Boot Barn. So that was a fun tour. Shout out to my buddy Brent Long and that whole bunch.
Okay, I found it.
Officer Doug. There we go. Talk about some vinyl.
So we did a greatest hits of vinyl of our greatest hits. Don't quote me on this, but I believe it's our 10 number ones. I believe. But it's exclusively at Walmart. So go check it out. And it's, for me and you, it's the vinyl is red.
Nice.
So thought that was kind of cool. But, yeah, it comes out February 25th.
Okay, there you go.
So
February 25th.
That'll precede my next album that'll be out probably first quarter if I had to guess, and has the new single With a Woman You Love on it, and excited about that. We got to do a photo shoot and do some things to get ready to get that out, so it's not completely done. I got a couple more things to record for it, but it's close. We're close to having it completed, so excited about that.
I tell you another song. I looked through the track list earlier. Now I'm like you. I can't find the email now they sent us, but I did see the last track is is Home Sweet Home, which I know a lot of people on the road didn't have the radio success we were hoping for, but everybody wants to hear that song at the live show, so it's on that vinyl.
Okay, well maybe it's more than just the 10 number ones. Then I'm probably wrong. Okay. Well, good. I
think it's the 10 number ones, the new single.
Probably Beta Hook and some other stuff like that.
It is, and at least, and I know Home Sweet Home's on there because it's the last track. I did remember seeing that at the bottom. Thought, oh, that's cool. They put that on the vinyl.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you guys go check that out. Again, that's February 25th. Greatest Hits. It's pretty neat to be able to have a Greatest Hits album. We probably could have had a couple out by now, but it's kind of neat to do it on vinyl.
Yep.
And so, and then one other thing I meant to mention earlier, another guest we need to get, and I know we probably could, and I didn't know this until I just happened to have the TV on the Today Show, Hoda and Jenna, this morning. Maddie Jackson was a guest today because she has a book out. I guess today, today it comes out maybe, but she did an unbelievably great job in the interview with those two. Great story. Well, it's a tragic story, but for those that don't know, we're talking about someone we've become friends with over the last, 2, 3, 4 years through our publicist and great friend Jacqueline. But it's Alan Jackson's daughter. She tragically lost her husband. Forgive me for not knowing this, but I want to say 3, 4, 5 years ago. Just a fluke incident, and she wrote a book about how her relationship with God has gotten her through it. And but anyway, we'll have to. I was going to say we need to get her on too to promote that and catch up with her, check in with her, and I'm sure the fans would love that. She's just a sweetheart and just a good human being.
Awesome. Yep. So
she also wrote a song with her dad. And I forget the name of it, but it's out today or tomorrow or something too. So I'm sure you can go find that. It's like, I think it's Racing Into the Night or something like that. But we need to get her on, and we'll get the scoop on all of it.
Yes, I want to say the book's called Lemons.
It's Lemon something.
Okay,
but
yeah,
but I just wanted to make mention of that because hopefully we can
Yes.
get her on. I'm sure she would. We saw her back in July, August, something like that with
Music City Grand Prix.
Well, no, when we played with Alan.
Oh yeah, that was after that. That's right.
So
that's right. Yeah, just a sweetheart. Yeah, I got to get a copy of that, and we definitely would love to have her on. She's awesome. Shout out to them. And yeah, I didn't get to catch that. I don't have to watch the reruns.
I just happened to be like, "There's Maddie. What is she doing?"
I saw
Jacqueline
put pictures up of them in town. But I didn't. I wasn't really paying attention. All of a sudden, I'm like, "Oh, there's," and I turned it up, and she did a great job on the interview, like I said, and awesome.
Just really impressive person. She really is. So.
Yep. So, everybody, we're going to bounce out of here today. Like I said, go to justinmooremusic.com. Check out everything on Justin. I know over the next few weeks, we're going to have a bunch of stuff to talk about next year's tour, new dates, new stuff, cool stuff that's happening. So y'all go check that out. Thank y'all for tuning in each and every week. Go to jrthehandler.com. Check out some swag for everybody for Christmas this year. Remember to use the hashtag Justin Moore Podcast when you interact with us on social media. And if Justin doesn't have the blue check mark, again, that ain't him. He ain't going to be asking you for nothing on the side. There are no other accounts. But thank y'all for doing that every week. Tell your friends, like, click, rate, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And we're going to do it again next week. Not next week, the week after next. Taking the week off for Thanksgiving. So y'all enjoy your time at home.
Yeah, happy early Thanksgiving. And we're not taking off out of laziness. We're taking off because it's Thanksgiving. So we'll see you the next week.
As we explained, we don't know how we're going to juggle this whole thing, but we'll make it happen. And y'all have fun with your family and friends, and be safe. Whether you got a little or whether you got a lot, enjoy each other's time and company, and just be safe out there and be thankful for what you do, guys. We love y'all, and look forward to seeing y'all again here in a few weeks.
Sorry for this cough all day. Sorry. I'm sorry. If I'd have just taken off, you guys would have been like, where are these guys? So just you just got to deal with it. I'm sorry. But go ahead.
We made all the shows. We're going to make all the podcasts, too. That's how we roll, baby. TCB.
Sometimes you got to play hurt.
That's it. Walk it off. All right, guys. We'll see y'all in a few weeks. Thank y'all.
Thanks, guys. Hey, guys. Today's podcast is sponsored by Bobcat Company. Check them out at bobcat.com.
For any of you first-time listeners out there, at the end of each of our episodes, I like to do a little reading out of a book I've had that I've got a lot of use out of over the years. The book is by Mr. Charlie Daniels, and the book is called Let's All Make the Day Count, The Everyday Wisdom of Charlie Daniels.
Number 29, words with meaning. Pleasant words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Proverbs 16:24. I never let a day go by without telling my wife that I love her, usually several times a day. Not that she doesn't already know it, because we've been married for 54 years. Despite the fact that I'm 82 and she's 75, we hug a lot, hold hands, snuggle, and constantly speak endearments to each other. Many days, except for the 3 hours my on-the-road concert schedule demands, we are together 24 hours and never tire of each other's company. Our son Charlie is in his 50s, and he always hugs his mother and me every time he comes home to our house. Even at the end of a telephone conversation, we always say, I love you. I can't remember a time in my childhood when greeting kinfolk and friends to the family didn't involve a hug. It was just something you did naturally, just part of saying hello. I am of the opinion that hugs and words of affection are healing. I don't think there are enough of either in today's society. I hug my employees if I haven't seen them for a while. I even hug someone I'm meeting for the first time if it seems fitting. As long as I've lived, my little corner of the world will always be an affectionate place. An apt word and a good hug can make up for a lot of ill feelings. Let's all make the day count.